I am Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher, 33, and I'm currently reading this book, The Kybalion, an essential book in studying occult wisdom. It's a book that much of New Thought, many people are familiar with the law of attraction and the principles of manifestation. So much of that is expressed in this book, The Kybalion, book of Hermetic wisdom, written by the three initiates that came out in the early 1900s. And these concepts were introduced to me through mentorship initially, and I've never actually read The Kybalion until now, but now I'm officially reading it. And one of the principles, one of the 7 Hermetic laws, is the law of gender. We talk about natural law in the world. We're talking about these 7 Hermetic laws. And humanity, again, has 2 genders, the masculine and the feminine. And when we're talking about the law of gender, we're not talking about biological masculine and feminine. We're talking about the masculine and feminine energies. And within us, we have both of them. We have both masculine energy and we have feminine energy. And the call for a human to rise to their highest potential involves balancing the divine elements of both the masculine and the feminine. Now, we may be dominant in one of the energies, but the call is a balanced expression. So the divine masculine is expressed in willpower, in assertiveness, in reason, logic, the ability to set boundaries, to defend, to go after and aim. The divine masculine is penetrating. It's inspired action. This is the power of the masculine energy. The divine feminine is nurturing. It's creative. It's the creative energy that births life. It is the energy of restoration. It's the energy of intuition and intuitive knowledge, being able to receive. The feminine energy receives, where the masculine energy penetrates and drives forward. And really, the two of them together, in harmony, birth the life process. And one of the agendas of the Illuminati, of those that control the matrix of fear that I refer to, those at the top of that, they always seek to off-balance these energies in people. And they perpetuate an unbalancing of the divine masculine and feminine and perpetuate the toxic versions of the masculine and feminine. And it's really not toxic, it's more of an unbalanced version. So, example, the unbalanced masculine is stubbornness. It is moving forward, moving on an act of will without being able to take in relevant information, trying to force one's will in the world without taking in relevant information. And what this does, this creates great imbalance in the world. Toxic feminine is weakness, is dependency on external authority figures. It is escapism, pleasure seeking without responsibility. This is the imbalance of the feminine energy. And this is what's promoted Yeah, so the idea, again, a good example of an imbalanced masculine is the concept of just driving away. When you have your aim, have an ambition, driving forward and going forward, and say you start to feel pain in your joints, you start to get the symptoms that you might be getting sick, but yet you're not going to listen, you're not going to take that information in, and you're going to keep driving away at this goal. And though you may achieve it because you didn't listen to the information that your body was telling you, you may get a disease, you may get a sickness that prevents you from being able to participate in the fruits of whatever goal that you were driving towards. And the encouragement, again, of just this grind away regardless. Don't listen to anything, just keep grinding. That's an imbalanced masculine trait. Imbalanced feminine, again, would be trust authority, trust the experts, trust something outside of yourself, and take no initiative whatsoever to dig for the truth, or seeking pleasure as one's highest value, perpetually seeking pleasure, seeking sense gratification, and having no greater purpose that involves participation and work on one's part. That's a imbalanced feminine. Gossip, petty gossip, filling conversation and thoughts with irrelevant themes that just don't really matter as to one's higher expression of the soul. This is the toxic feminine. Whining, bitching, complaining. This would be imbalanced feminine. Imbalanced masculine, again, imposing one's will and not think, regardless of the cost, not thinking about a bigger consequence, just driving forward blindly, again, without any kind of empathy, without any kind of awareness of something beyond one's narrow perspective. So the imbalance of these energies, once again, if you just look at anything that's perpetuated by mainstream media, by social media, by any type of source that the power structures of the matrix of fear that most people live and mistake as reality or take for the reality, most of what you are going to see is imbalanced masculine and imbalanced feminine. But the great spiritual avatars of Earth, what they showed up as is a very balanced version of masculine, of divine masculine and divine feminine. Just the stories of Jesus in the Bible, very balanced, divine masculine and divine feminine. Healing, another piece of the divine feminine energy. Look at what Jesus did, healing the sick, while at the same time throwing out the money lenders of the temple, throwing out corruption, calling out the hypocrisy of the Pharisees, exposing corruption and standing up to it. That's the divine masculine. So the healing quality of the divine feminine and the warrior of the divine masculine, all in one. And guess what? We got the potential to have the balance of these characteristics and qualities too when we're aware of them and we're aware of what we do that cultivates the qualities, and knowing where we're out of balance, knowing if we're falling out of balance in the feminine, if we're getting gossipy, bitchy, lazy, if you want to defer authority to something outside, or if we're getting too obsessive, too rigid, getting burned out because we're chasing a goal and it's taking a toll on us emotionally and physically, if we're causing suffering and pain to people around us because we're obsessed over our goal That's the imbalance of the masculine. So knowing when we are imbalanced and knowing when we are what nurturing the balance is. So having a goal, having an aim, having something to work for, that nurtures the divine masculine. Empathy, being able to open up to perspectives and see beyond the narrow perspective, that nurtures the divine feminine. You think about this also in our nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system is masculine. That's our active. And parasympathetic, rest and digest, that's the feminine. So with that being said, I'm going to end this transmission. Be strong, be well, my friends, and I will see you on the other side.